What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Inside D3 show. I'm your host, Morgan Cheatham, back with a brand new intro for you guys. If you're one of our new viewers, then thank you for checking us out for the first time. If you're one of our day one viewers, then we appreciate you for sticking around since the beginning. So before we get started today, make sure you check us out on our website, InsideD3.com. Follow us on our Instagram and Twitter at D3Inside. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inside D3 Athletics, where you can find all of our episodes as well. If you happen to be on the go and can't watch our videos, you can listen to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor. Also, be sure to check out the Mascot of the Week with Sam and any news that might drop in the meantime as well. And we got some good stuff planned for you guys for the summer, so we're definitely looking forward to that as well. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy the show. We have Parker Hammel in the virtual building with us today. He is a former Wartburg College alum, played football up there as well in Waverly, Iowa. He's also the former chair of the Division III National SAAc as well. So Parker, thank you for coming on, man. What's going on?
No, it's good, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all reaching out and wanting to kind of have me come and chat with you.
No doubt, man. We've heard good things, like I said. So we'll get right into it. Tell us a little bit about, your journey through athletics first. Talk about, from beginning to end, how you got into, playing football probably, and talk about a little bit of, just what you've been involved in throughout your college experience as well.
Yeah, man. So I guess starting off, I started, playing football when I was real young. Started playing flag football at a young age. Played for about a year or two, and my mom quickly found out that flag football wasn't for me because I kept trying to chase around and tackle kids. So about fifth grade, she found a tackle football league, and I just fell in love with the sport. Fell in love with everything that involved with it, the dedication and the art of it, and everything like that. And up through high school, played two ways, both offense and defense, and absolutely loved everything about it. And for a little bit, I was getting some recruitment from some higher levels and stuff like that. But you know how it goes, some stuff kind of falls through. And actually, for a while there, I was thinking, I wasn't sure if I wanted to even go the D3 route, and because there is kind of a stigma on Division III athletics a little bit, especially from where I'm from. And so, I was looking at it like, I don't even really know if I want to do this. And I just remember playing. We're in state basketball up in Iowa high school, and we were the number one ranked team in state. And we made it to the tournament, top 8 teams, and we got upset first round. And I just remember like sitting there, I was like, this is not how it's going out for me. Like, I'm not doing this. And I made the decision to go to Wartburg 2 days later. And man, I tell you what, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I met some friends, some brothers that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. Got to play the sport I love for another 4 years. And yeah, man, I loved every minute of it.
Definitely. I want to talk about that stigma though, because I feel like everybody gets it when they're, going through that college process of like, especially being in like those big schools that are real successful in athletics. They're always like, you're going to go D3? Like, what is that? Like, why are you? Yeah. So I want you to talk about that a little bit, man.
I remember, so like I said, I was kind of getting a little bit of recruitment up in some upper levels and stuff like that. And I remember Wartburg coming in specifically, and like my high school coach was like, hey, like the school wants to come in and talk to you. And he told me about it. I'm like, man, I'm not sitting down talking to this. Like, I'm better than this, all this stuff. And so, I kind of pushed it off. And then when the recruitment kind of fell through on the other things, and I was sitting there, I was like, dang, like I'm either going D3 or I'm not playing anymore. Like it's up to that point. And, and I sat there and I talked, and I was like, at first I was like, is this something like, it came down basically to like, do I still want to play the game I love? Like, do I still want to go out there and compete? And the answer was yes. I wanted to do that. And, I think that stigma comes along with D3, especially because, we don't do the scholarships. We don't do some of that stuff, that it's like, oh, anyone can come play, and it's, basically your high school team or the guys from your high school team that couldn't make it, And man, I tell you what, it's not the case. Like, that I still remember my first camp, like first day of pads, my freshman year at Wartburg, and I was a running back, and I got our coach, he's like, Parker, get in there. So I go in like with the first and second team, and we're doing like a good v good. And so we're going against our number one defense, and I'm in there. And we get the play, and it's a pass play. And so I got like some protection responsibilities. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I kind of know what to look for. If like one of the backers is blitzing, like, I got this. And I just remember I see our weak side linebacker, who was a senior at the time, kind of creeping up a little bit. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to show coach like all this stuff. Man, I'll tell you what, that ball was hiked, and within 2 seconds, I was on my back. Dude just blew right through me. I don't think I slowed him down one bit. And I got up, and our head coach kind of calls me over. He goes, welcome to college football. I was like, yo, I just went back to the sideline. I was like, yeah, this is real, man. Like, that's the thing I don't think a lot of people realize is, like, with Division III athletics, some people think we're lesser athletes and all that, but you're still looking at some, a lot of times still top athletes at the high school level that are going to these D3 institutions. And I mean, it's competition, and it's tough stuff. And I mean, it's definitely amped up from high school. And you get guys that fall through the recruiting ranks because, they weren't the size that, colleges look for when they're juniors and stuff, but then they hit that growth spurt their senior year, and they fell through the recruiting tracks. I mean, it's crazy, but that stigma's there. And, I'm hoping that, stuff like what you guys are doing with Inside D3 and a lot of the other recognition that's kind of going on across the country and stuff, that that stigma is slowly going to kind of start getting broken down, and people realize that, hey, it's college athletics is college athletics. No way you push about it. Division III is still going to go in. We're still putting in 40 hours a week of work, into our craft to get better, and we want to compete at the highest level too.
Yeah, man. Give these D3s a shot, man. You never know what type of opportunities you're gonna get, man. Definitely.
For sure.
So let's talk a little bit about, how you got into SAAC. A lot of people, I don't think they really actively have like looked on their campus for it, and they'll just happen to like find it, or maybe their coaches will find it for them and stuff like that. So I want to know your story on how you got into it.
Yeah, so it was my coach, honestly. My sophomore year, so at Wartburg we had a SAAC. Well, we called it SAAC at the time. It really wasn't much of a SAAC, to be honest. But we had a SAAC, and 2 players were required from every team. And my sophomore year, head coach asked me if I, want to be a part of the group, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's cool. Like, I'm all for that. And so we would go in. I remember our SAAC meetings were essentially just going in and being like, all right, updates of our teams. Like, we play this team this week, or we have this, like, and now it was about 15 minutes. And then we were like, all right, peace out. Like, we're good. We're leaving. But then how I got to actually see SAAC and get involved at the national level kind of started with our conference. Then was the Iowa Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, now called the American Rivers Conference. They held this leadership conference for all of our schools, and I was one of, I think, 4 people from Wartburg that went to it. And one of the speakers they had was a man named by Chris O'Rourke, who was a baseball player out at Becker College, and he was on the national SAAC. And he kind of came in and talked to us a little bit about what national SAAC is and everything like that. And at the end of his speech, he mentioned that this was going to be his last year, and that the position was actually going to roll over to our conference to select someone. And I remember sitting there, listening to him talk and everything like that. He got done, and I looked around at everyone at my table. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, this is so cool. Like, that'd be such a cool opportunity to go do that and like really try to make an impact and a change for Division III athletes across the country. And I looked at my table, and everyone's sitting there like, oh man, that'd be so stupid and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm wrong. I guess I'm thinking about this different, um, and so I remember sitting down, talking with our commissioner, talking with our coach and AD at Wartburg, and talking about how this would be something I think I'd be really good at and would want to do. And so there's kind of an application process for it, and luckily I was selected to, represent our conference going in, and got into the national SAAC, man. It was just an awesome experience. Loved every minute of it too.
That's dope, man. So what was the journey like through that whole experience? Tell me what was some of the highlights and things that learned and enjoyed throughout that process.
I'd say easily the biggest highlights for people. Both the other athletes that are on the committee with you, but then you have the coaches and the athletic directors and SIDs and all these other people that are so important to not only just Division III athletics, but athletics in general, that you meet along the way in different committees and stuff that you get to hop on with and be a part of. Some of these people are just amazing people that are out there doing amazing things right now, both in athletics and not in athletics. And so it's amazing to kind of get a part of that, to see some of the top leaders in our country, especially, young leaders, be able to come up and see what they're doing and grow with them and kind of use each other to, they say a raising tide raises all ships, and it's kind of that same thing. Like you get around those people and they just kind of want to make you better and get going. So the people are definitely it. But then just some of the experiences in general. The national conventions were always awesome, to be able to interact not only with all of our D3 people, but then you have D1 and D2 there as well. You get to speak on different things. And personally, in my last convention, I got to speak to the whole convention floor, on one of the proposals I was going through that was going to affect the entire association. So I got to go up to a mic and speak on it, which was pretty cool. A little nerve-wracking kind of going up there and stuff,
I bet, man.
but it was an awesome experience, man. And yeah, you get those things, and it's stuff that you don't think you're ever really going to see. When I decided to go to Wartburg, like, that was not anything I was ever thinking, like, oh, this is where it's going to take me. This is what I'm going to be able to do with it. But it's these like little opportunities that you get, that you're able to run with and kind of make a good life for yourself and kind of see how things can work out.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about the present. Obviously that part of your life is now, in the past. What's going on for you right now? What's going on?
Yeah, so right now, so after college, actually I guess going junior year, summer going into senior year, I got an internship with this company, and then after the internship ended, they asked me if I wanted to kind of continue on with the company post graduation, and I was like, I'm for it. And so I'm an accounting major background, I guess, and so for the last 2 years, I've actually been a part of a financial leadership program, for a Fortune 50 company in the aerospace and defense industry. And so I've been kind of moving around the country for the last 2 years. There was about a year in Iowa. I spent 6 months up in Connecticut. I'm down in Georgia right now doing a 6-month little rotation down here, just kind of learning the company, everything like that. And then I graduate from that program actually in a couple weeks, and I'll be taking a more permanent role, actually out in Dallas, with a portion of our company out there and stuff. Man, I'm super excited for it, but it's definitely been interesting and challenging, these last couple months with all the COVID stuff happening and quarantining and stuff like that. And we're considered an essential business, so we still do go into the office a little bit here and there. So it's been an interesting last couple months, but yeah, I would say the athletic side, going through college and stuff like that, though, has definitely prepared me, to be able to communicate and work with people, and to be able to take leadership initiatives and everything like that. All the stuff that's taught to you in athletics growing up, man. I mean, it rolls right into the workplace, even if you're not doing anything in the athletics field post graduation, man. Like you take those experiences, you take those lessons, and you can apply them straight up, and it allows you to kind of grow and really make your own mark in whatever industry you want to go into.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I'm excited for you. Congratulations. Definitely. That's the first thing. But like you said, it helps to have all of those skills that you can carry over, into whatever your next journey may be. So tell me how important it is to really just be multifaceted and to be able to have a lot of experience in a lot of different things that'll get you ready for the next level.
Oh man, it's so important, man. It's so important. Anytime you can take an opportunity to like expand yourself, I mean, it's only going to lead to better things in the future. Um, you know, I was graduating outside of Wartburg and starting out in Iowa. A lot of people I knew, like, they stayed in the state, and that's to each their own. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I knew if I wanted to become the man I wanted to be and like the worker I wanted to be, and everything like that, that I needed to get outside of that too. And so being able to experience different kind of cultures, going up to Connecticut and now down south here in Georgia, has been instrumental to me. You learn how to work with different people. You learn how to do a lot of things that, if you kind of contain yourself and, stay in one spot, you're not, really allowing yourself to truly grow and prosper into the person that you're meant to be. And so I think having that multifaceted ideal is amazing. And that's one of the things that Division III instills in you too, man. Like that's one of the great things about it is in D3, you have athletes that do multiple sports, which doesn't happen a lot in the upper divisions. You have athletes who are not only doing their work, they're taking the majors that, are super demanding, everything like that, but then they're also working a side job. You having all these things where they're in different clubs and organizations that really teach you how to deal with your time management, everything like that. But it's giving you all these new experiences, opportunities that are allowing you to grow. That then, as you get older and stuff like that, man, you're figuring out like, oh dang, like I just figured out like I have this connection with this person like I wouldn't have had otherwise. Or be able to how you're able to interact with the person or interact in anything like that, man. It's huge being able to pull different scenarios and situations from different parts of your life.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. So let's switch topics a little bit right now. Obviously we've seen a lot of rise in discussions and, action with everything going on with police brutality and, racial injustice and things of that nature. So I want to talk about, first, how did that affect you, seeing all of this go down? And, what do you hope to see in the future for, America as a whole?
And these are it's tough times, and they're challenging conversations to be had. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad they're being had. I'm glad that stuff is finally being talked about and brought to light. I grew up in a smaller town in Iowa, um, and I experienced some things growing up that to a lot of people, might not seem like a lot, but the eyes and the follows you get from walking into a store or something like that, or when you see people crossing the side of the road to cross right back as soon as they pass you, and some other things too, man. And it can sometimes be a tough discussion and topic for people of color to have, to bring that up. Um, but I'm glad that this is happening now, and I think athletics has a good way of kind of doing that and helping out with this movement. Not just with the kneeling and stuff like that, but just conversations you can have with your teammates. I mean, I know at Wartburg on our football team, there was guys on our team who much less had a team member of theirs before be black, but they hadn't gone to a school before where there's black people. You know what I mean? Growing up in real rural parts of Iowa and whatnot, and so to be able to have that ability to have that conversation with people, so that you can really try to see where the other person is coming from, man. I think that's big time, and um, obviously with like the police brutality and everything like that that's going on, I think it's hard sometimes and people don't want to politicize it and everything like that. But to be able to move forward in anything, you have to be able to talk about it, and you got to be able to come with an open mind, an open heart, and really listen to the other person. And that's from both sides, kind of seeing where the other person is coming from. And um, I don't know. It's tough. We're definitely not there yet. There's still a long, long way to go. But I think that it's good that the country's doing this. Kind of seeing some demons in the closet or whatever, however you want to phrase it. But like that, these conversations are happening, and I see some change going around. And I just think athletics has a huge, huge role to play in this moving forward too. And how we kind of be able to interact and talk with each other and learn from experiences and everything like that. Because more than anything too, and all the other athletes that are listening, like when you're on that field or on that court, like it don't really matter. Like that's your brother, that's your sister. Like you're in competition, you're warriors together. Now you just need to take that same energy off the court, off the field. Take it into the classrooms, into your cities, into that, and use that same energy and ride with each other, and really help each other get on, so that we can get to this point in the country that everything really truly is equal. And yeah, I just think athletics has a big role. I'm excited to kind of see where it happens, see where everything goes.
Yeah, definitely. Athletics is huge. It brings a lot of people together from all over the world, man. So to be able to have that type of pull, and have the power of athletics that they have, it's always a good opportunity for people to learn and people to learn from each other. So hopefully, we see some good steps in the right direction in the future. That's my only hope right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there, and I think we got some good strong leaders in our generation, that are going to come up, and we keep pushing for the change and we keep doing what we're doing. And I think that change is going to come. I have hope in that, and I have hope that we're going to see that true equality, that true brotherhood, and everything that the country say it was founded on. I believe that we're going to get there and truly have that kind of freedom. And I'm just excited for that day to come.
Me too, man. Me too. So my last question for you before we get out of here, I want to know what made you choose Division III. I know you talked a little bit about that whole process, but
Yeah,
I want to know what it means to you for you to be a
man.
Division III athlete.
D3, like, this is something that you don't quite understand until you're in there, until you're in with a team, everything like that. We don't do scholarships. We don't do a lot of this stuff. So everyone that's on that team with you, that you're surrounded with, like, they're doing it literally for the love of the game, and there's nothing else involved. You know what I mean? Like, there's no other perks to joining a D3 program other than the ability to still play a game that we grew up playing as kids and couldn't quite step away from yet. And to have that power of every single person around you feeling that same way, man, that's some powerful stuff right there. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Division III. And you truly get to, play the sport in the purest form, I guess you can say, where you just want to go in, just get better in what you do. You want to work hard for the person standing next to you, and really just try to strive and play at the top level that you can. And I think D3 gives you that ability, and it surrounds you by people with that same mindset and that same determination and that same drive. And it really kind of brings the best out in you. You really want to, go all out for that person next to you because they're going to be doing the same thing. And yeah, I love about D3. I think that's one of the coolest things about college sports, at our level, man, is that ability to surround yourself with that same mindset of people. And it's an amazing experience. I would definitely say to anyone, if you're debating, do I go, D2, D1, if you got scholarships, that's great. But if you're debating, like, oh, do I give up on the sport, or do I, go to a D2? Absolutely take the shot, take the chance. We're only so young. You only get the opportunity to play these sports for a limited amount of time in your life. And to, not choose a Division III institution because you think you're bigger than that, and that you're just going to step away from your sport and go do intramurals at a D1 school or something like that, man. I wouldn't recommend it. Give a shot to a D3, man. You're gonna love it. And there's schools across this country that fit everything. If you want to stay in a rural area, you got that. If you want D3 institutions that are in big cities, you got that. There's literally all over the country. Whatever kind of atmosphere you want surrounding you outside of the team itself, like, you can find in a D3 institution. So yeah, D3 is a pretty amazing spot. I owe a lot to my experiences in D3, setting me up to where I'm at now, and where I'm going. And yeah, I wouldn't trade anything for it, man. Definitely wouldn't trade it.
Well said, my guy. Well said. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Like, I feel like you're, a good um, example of one of those people who got the most out of their Division III, experience. Is you got, the best of both worlds, that student and that athlete perspective. And also you were able to take that to the next level and be on the national SAAc. So it's just an awesome opportunity. And, a lot of people will pass it up just off of the responsibility and I guess the reputation that we have as Division III athletes. So I definitely appreciate you for coming on and being able to tell that story for people that may need to hear it, actually. So definitely appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. Like, this has been awesome. I've been following you all since you guys kind of got started with the
I
Inside
see, I
D3.
see.
Awesome, man. That what you guys are doing, giving a voice to the student athletes, giving a voice to the division itself. A little bit less represented in a lot of media outlets and stuff like that. So I love what you guys are doing, and I hope the best for you guys' group, and I hope everything kind of keeps moving forward for y'all, man. Because this is good stuff that you guys are doing. Good stuff.
Thank you, man. We're here with you every step of the way too, man. We support everything you're doing, everything you've done for Division III, man. We can't thank you enough because you give us the opportunity to bring these stories out. So thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
All right, Parker. Well, take care, man. Appreciate you coming on. Have a good weekend, all that good stuff, and don't work too hard over there.
I'll try not. Thanks, man. You too.
All right. So that does it for another episode of the Inside D3 Show. Thank you guys again for checking in. Stay tuned for more episodes. We drop them every Wednesday on all of our platforms. Also, stay connected on all of our platforms for any stories that might drop during the week as well. And also stay locked in for the Mascot of the Week with Sam V. Rock right after this, and you do not want to miss that. So, once again, I'm Morgan Cheatham. This is the Inside D3 Show, and we are signing off.